Good morning, and welcome to your daily morning digest for Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. Grab your coffee, let's get you caught up on what matters. In business news today, Arcosa has announced it's selling its barge unit to Winchurch Capital for $450 million. This is a big move in the infrastructure space. Arcosa is streamlining its portfolio, and Winchurch, a private equity firm, sees value in the barge business. Sometimes companies need to shed parts to focus on their core strengths. Speaking of major moves in resources, Denison Mines has just approved construction of the Phoenix uranium mine. This is a significant development in the nuclear energy sector. With the world's growing appetite for clean energy, uranium is back in the conversation in a big way. The Phoenix mine is expected to be a major contributor to Denison's production pipeline. On the trade front, here's something that caught my eye. Despite a federal court shooting down some emergency Trump tariffs, businesses are warning consumers not to expect lower prices anytime soon. Here's the reality: tariffs create supply chain disruptions that don't just reverse overnight. Even when trade barriers come down, companies have already locked in contracts, found alternative suppliers, or absorbed costs into their margins. Prices are sticky on the way up, even when the pressure eases. In tech news, here's a fascinating development in the chip wars. A U.S. official has confirmed that China has not yet received any Nvidia H200 chips. This is a direct result of U.S. export controls on advanced semiconductors. Nvidia designed a less capable H20 chip specifically for the China market to comply with restrictions, but even that faces scrutiny. The technology competition between Washington and Beijing continues to reshape global supply chains, and companies like Nvidia find themselves caught in the middle. Switching to crypto, Bitcoin has taken a beating. It slipped below $63,000, wiping out about 50% from its October record high at the session low. That's a brutal correction for anyone who bought near the peak. Cryptocurrency remains incredibly volatile. It's a reminder that what goes up fast can come down faster. The market sentiment has shifted dramatically from the euphoria we saw just a few months ago. Turning to Hong Kong, the city's financial secretary Paul Chan Mo-po delivered his annual budget today. The big question is whether it can spark what locals call a purple patch, a period of sustained good fortune. The budget includes measures for intellectual property development, support for the superyacht industry, and various sweeteners to accelerate economic recovery. Hong Kong is walking a tightrope. It needs to boost growth while balancing the books. The consulting sector and professional services are getting particular attention as the city tries to reposition itself as a hub for innovation, not just finance. Now for some global headlines. Ukraine marked a somber milestone today, for years since Russia launched its full-scale invasion. Memorial events were held across the country to remember the dead. Ukrainian President Zelensky has been vocal, telling the BBC that Putin has effectively started World War III and must be stopped. The BBC also spoke with Russian soldiers who described horrific conditions, including claims of troops being executed by commanders for refusing orders. This war shows no signs of ending, and the human cost continues to mount on both sides. In Latin America, disaster has struck Brazil. Floods and landslides in Juiz de Fora have killed at least 25 people. Hundreds more have been displaced, dozens are missing, and rescue operations are still ongoing. Extreme weather events are becoming more common worldwide, and infrastructure in many places simply isn't built to handle the intensity of rainfall we're now seeing. Our thoughts are with everyone affected by this tragedy. Meanwhile, in Mexico, there's chaos in Puerto Vallarta. Armed men rammed the gates of a jail and helped 23 inmates escape. This happened during a wave of violence across the region. Mexico has been grappling with cartel violence and prison security issues for years. The fact that armed groups can mount such brazen operations is deeply concerning for public safety and the rule of law. Before we wrap up today, I want to share a thought with you. Looking at the stories we covered today, from Bitcoin's wild swings to Ukraine's 4-year struggle, from Brazil's floods to the persistent challenges in global trade, there's a theme that emerges. The world is unpredictable. Markets crash, wars drag on, natural disasters strike, political tensions flare. But here's the thing about humans: we adapt. We rebuild. We keep going. Arcosa pivots its business strategy. Nvidia redesigns chips for new markets. Hong Kong repositions itself for a new economic era. Rescue teams in Brazil search through mud and debris to find survivors. Ukrainian people gather to honor their dead while still living their lives. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote nearly 2,000 years ago, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Every obstacle is an opportunity to find a new path. Every crisis contains the seeds of adaptation and growth. So as you go about your day-to-day, remember that whatever challenges you're facing, whether it's a tough market, a difficult project, or just the daily grind, you have the capacity to adapt, to pivot, to find another way. The world keeps turning, and so do we. That's it for your morning digest on Wednesday, February 25th, 2026. Stay informed, stay resilient, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Take care.